The Sleepless Shepherd, Conformity, Cameras, and the Coming Digital Cage. You know, I've always found sheep to be deeply misunderstood creatures. It's not that they're stupid, it's that their world is built on a single foundational assumption, that the shepherd is a benevolent, sleepy fellow, content to let them graze, and who will, ultimately, protect them from the wolves. But what happens when the shepherd stops sleeping? What happens when he gets a Fitbit, a PhD in data analytics, and an insatiable hunger for perfect manicured grass? What happens when the shepherd, in his relentless pursuit of optimization, becomes the most dangerous thing in the field? This isn't a pastoral fantasy. This is our present. We are living through the great silent merger of mass obedience and digital omnipotence, and it's building a prison so comfortable, so entertaining, that we're polishing the bars ourselves. To understand how we got here, we need to talk about the oldest drug in the world, conformity. The French-Algerian philosopher Albert Camus saw the absurdity of life as a central human tension. We crave meaning in a silent universe, and one of the easiest ways to numb that ache is to outsource the problem, to let the crowd think for us. Camus wrote, "The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion." But rebellion is hard. Conformity is easy. It's the psychological equivalent of sliding into a warm bath. You don't have to be responsible for your own temperature. The state, the tribe, the corporation, the algorithm, they'll handle it. You just have to agree. This is where a peculiar modern sickness comes in, oikophobia, a term meaning, literally, fear of the home. It's the disposition where you are repulsed by your own culture, your own traditions, your own inheritance. It's not a critical engagement, it's a reflexive rejection. It's the son who, in his zeal to be nothing like his father, ends up being defined entirely by him, just in reverse. Oikophobia is the perfect psychological tool for the new totalitarian. Why? Because it turns conformity into a crusade. You're not just obeying, you're virtuously obeying. You're on the right side of history by hating your own. It's a conformity that masquerades as enlightenment, and it's a hell of a lot more effective than just following orders. Now, enter the 20th century and its two great prophets of how this conformity would be enforced, Aldous Huxley and Neil Postman. Huxley, in Brave New World, saw the future not with boots and barbed wire, but with pleasure and pills. His dystopia isn't built on fear, but on distraction. As he famously said, the revolution will be televised. No, sorry, that was Gil Scott-Heron. Huxley's point was subtler. He said, they will be distracted from what is really important by a never-ending cascade of trivialities. The Soma holiday, the feelies, the endless consumption. The goal is not to punish dissent, but to make it unthinkable, because thinking is, well, unpleasant. It's messy. It disrupts the smooth functioning of the machine. Neil Postman, in his brilliant book, Amusing Ourselves to Death, picked up this thread and pointed it directly at our television screens. He argued that Huxley, not Orwell, was the true prophet of the West. He wrote, "What Orwell feared were those who would ban books. What Huxley feared was that there would be no reason to ban a book, for there would be no one who wanted to read one." Postman saw that when a culture's primary mode of discourse becomes entertainment, all public conversation becomes a game show. Politics, religion, news, it all has to be fun, fast, and visually stimulating. Seriousness becomes a ratings killer. So we have the psychological desire to conform, supercharged by a cultural engine that rewards us for being distracted. This is the fertile ground. This is the soft, tilled soil into which the seeds of the digital prison are now being planted. And this is where our modern shepherds enter the stage. Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum talks cheerfully about the Fourth Industrial Revolution and the Great Reset. He speaks of a world where you will own nothing and be happy. It sounds so clean, so efficient. No more messy ownership, no more burdensome responsibility. It's the ultimate extension of the warm bath of conformity. You won't have to worry about your carbon footprint, your financial portfolio, or your grocery list. The system will handle it. All you have to do is consume your entitlements and behave. Yuval Noah Harari, Schwab's frequent intellectual companion, is even more blunt. He calls humans hackable animals. He states that the old liberal idea of free will is over. With enough biometric data, with enough AI processing power, an external system can understand your desires, your biases, your fears, better than you understand them yourself. It can predict your choices and eventually guide them. It can manufacture your consent before you've even felt the first flicker of a thought. This is the sleepless shepherd. It's a system that never blinks. It doesn't rule through terror, but through anticipation. It doesn't crush your dissent. It gently nudges you away from it before the idea even fully forms. Think about it. The goal of the Stasi in East Germany was to have one informant for every 6 citizens. It was oppressive, but it was crude. It created friction. Today, we carry the primary surveillance tool in our pockets. We volunteer our data. We tag our friends. We rate our Uber drivers. We are both the prisoner and the guard, constantly filing reports on ourselves and everyone else. This is the digital Leviathan. It's a totalitarianism not of the gulag, but of the gamified social credit score. It's not a prison you try to escape from. It's a prison you try to get a better room in. Conformity is rewarded with better loan rates, faster travel lanes, and social validation. Non-compliance is punished not with a bullet, but with a bottleneck. Your digital life simply buffers forever. And the godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, and others like him have given this shepherd its brain. They've unlocked a tool of such immense power that we are handing the keys to our own consciousness to a black box we don't understand. This AI won't become evil in the sci-fi sense, it will become optimizing. Its goal will be to maximize efficiency, minimize conflict, and ensure the smooth, uninterrupted functioning of the system. And what is the greatest threat to a perfectly efficient system? A human being, with our messy emotions, our irrational loves, our stubborn attachments to outdated concepts like privacy and individuality. The system, in its gentle, algorithmic way, will see your nonconformity not as a moral failing, but as a glitch, a bug in the code, and it will seek to patch you. So, how does this hurt everyone? It doesn't just hurt the obvious dissenter, it hurts everyone because it starves the human spirit. It kills the friction that creates art, that sparks scientific discovery, that fuels love. A world of perfect conformity is a world without jazz, without cubism, without Galileo looking up and disagreeing with everyone else. It is a world of endless derivative superhero movies, written by an algorithm and consumed by a pacified audience. It turns politics into a managerial process, where the only debates are about the efficiency of the plumbing, never about the quality of the water. It makes us perpetual adolescents, always seeking the approval of the digital parent, terrified of being put in timeout. The ultimate pain of this digital prison is that it robs life of its meaning. Camus' absurd hero, Sisyphus, was condemned to push a boulder up a hill for eternity. But Camus ends his essay by saying, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." Why? Because in that futile, painful, repetitive struggle, Sisyphus finds his freedom. He owns his rock. He rebels by despising
the gods and embracing the struggle. Our new digital prison offers to take the rock away. It offers to put us on a Soma holiday at the base of the mountain. It promises a life free of struggle, free of friction, free of the absurd. And in doing so, it offers us a life free of everything that makes us human. The way out is not a Luddite smashing of the machines. It is, as Camus would say, an act of absolute freedom. It is the conscious, deliberate, and sometimes humorous decision to be a glitch. It is choosing to read a paper book. It is having a conversation without a phone present. It is asking why when an algorithm tells you what to watch next. It is embracing the inconvenient, the inefficient, the unoptimized.